All right.
Cool.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
No, no worries. Uh,
You go, Helgi.
welcome, guys. It's great to see you all. Great to see a good turnout like this. Also, that's really fun. Um, and this is the only the first campfire session of this fall, and it's great to see you guys coming in. And great to get this opportunity to have these guys talk about the identity facets a little bit. That's a facet that we have neglected a little bit in our previous webinars and seminars. And so it's great to be able to get a little bit into that faction. But let's welcome Tina Bieber and David Henzel, and I'm handing it over to them.
Hello, and thank you very much, Helgi. So we do have a couple of slides, but we're gonna abandon them very quickly. But just to start off with, let me share my screen. Okay, everybody sees it?
Yep.
Perfect. So, um, I got in touch with EDGY for the first time via Wolfgang, I think 2 years ago. And I know it evolved, and a lot of people are involved, and but we got to talk about in particular the topics of purpose and identity and brand, which is like where David and I are coming from as well. And this is, we hope we can contribute a little bit today and can spark a good conversation today, I would say. So I think this would be like the main thing. So as said, like where we are falling into as love, not fear, and you will hear a little bit more about love, not fear in a second, is in this kind of pillar. I hope I have like the right model, Helgi.
Yeah, yeah, that
Yeah,
works.
okay, good. I was like looking at different kind of forms, but I think so. This is it. So we are here in this pillar of identity, where also the promises falls in, and why. And I know here's like the brand intersection. And so, yeah, so this will be the topic of today. But before we're going to start, like just a couple of words about ourselves. So I'm going to start and then I'm going to hand over to David. So, yeah, I'm Tina. Born and raised in Germany and lived in different kind of countries that I would say shaped my purpose and my perspective on life, but also in particular in organizations, how I believe, yeah, that things can be better and can just like run differently. So I ended up working in yeah, the new workspace, so to say, for an organization also in the oil and gas industry with this big purpose of transforming this industry from the inside out. And we experimented or implemented holacracy as a system because we wanted to create something where people are actually equal in this ecosystem or social system of an organization, where we can create like more ownership and like decentralized approach. So purpose for us was like the only boss, and we practically organized around that, and that's how we believed truly self-management could come to life, which means like self-accountability and this kind of decentralized approach. We experimented that far and yeah, up to like co-ownership, and then it kind of like it counteracted at some point, and it exploded in our face. And so I got to know like the glory side of it all, of new work and this whole movement of teal. I don't know if you are aware of reinventing organizations and Frederic Laloux. Like we did practically everything by the books, so to say. I would go to conferences and talk about this organic journey of purpose and how wonderful this is and how much sense it makes. Until then, I started also talking about the shadow side of things, and that we need like more integrated approaches. Um, so big learnings out of that time, but I still believe that we can create, yeah, looking at organizations as social systems, as living organisms, and how actually organizational culture, design, identity, and brand also interact and are connected to each other. So this is also in particular like my work. I'm at the intersection of organization design, development, and brand and identity. And So we did a lot of work around how to root in yourself, in your personal mission, vision, core values, and purpose. And yeah, and then I looked into how can we make this scalable. And then David and I met how the universe plays, right? So we got to know each other like a year ago, and David was already very busy with Love Not Fear and what Love Not Fear stands for, and he will talk about that in a second. And then we talked about how can we have like a bigger impact in scaling things like identity in organizations. So yeah, David,
All right.
who are you?
Who am I? That's a good question. I've been working on that for many, many years. Um, I'm I've always been an entrepreneur and I had lots of business. I have no formal education. I went to 14 different schools. I got kicked out everywhere and found entrepreneurship at some point. This was like amazing because nobody told me what I have to do. And kind of sticking with mission, vision, and purpose. And I always thought vision statements, mission statements, and core values is something that you put into a PowerPoint when you pitch an investor, and then you bury it somewhere on your homepage and you never look at it again. I thought it's absolutely useless until my company in America, Max CDN, we scaled very fast. And in the beginning, the founding team and the first employees, they kind of knew what are we doing and who are we doing it for, and but the more we scaled and we hired more and more people, and we didn't tell any of them, what are we here to do? What's our mission? What's our vision? What's our ideal customer profile? What are our values? Which resulted in us running into 10 different directions and nothing worked anymore. And then we realized that this was, due to not having this clear North Star that helps us to make collective decisions. And after we realized this, we implemented this, and then after I saw the power of this, that can be the biggest decision-making tool in terms. I think it's the best management tool if you can ground every decision that you make in either your values or your mission and vision. And if you explain this to people, it becomes like emergent, so everybody knows what to do without having to come to you for every little thing. And so I became very passionate about this. And I have a portfolio of 12 businesses with a little over 500 employees. And I've found that if I create this environment where people do their job from a place of love and not fear, everything is just like, it's a way more fun and it's working much better. And I want to tell you two little stories about the power of core values before power of mission vision before we get into something more interactive. I do not like to be talked at, and I think you also don't like to be talked at. You could also watch a YouTube video. So I want to make this as interactive as possible. But two quick stories. A friend of mine founded ring.com, and I talked to his head of engineering about the power of mission and vision. And he said one of his engineers came to him and said, so ring.com is like this doorbell company where you ring the doorbell and then you see on your phone who's at the door. And they also have this device which you can put on the side of the house, which is like a floodlight. So when somebody walks through your backyard, the floodlights go on and you see him and you can say like, what are you doing on my property? Please leave or call the police. And this engineer came to the head of engineering and said, like, I have an amazing feature idea for this device that's on the side of the house. We can create the party mode. And he said, like, what party mode? And he said, like, yeah, because since this thing has lights and a microphone, if you turn on party mode, it can flash to the music. And he said, I had two choices. A, I tell him that that's a stupid idea, go back to your desk and continue working. But then the guy would be, discouraged and, would never bring up ideas again. So he said, that's a fun idea, but what does this have to do with our vision, which is to make neighborhoods safer? I was like, oh, okay, right. It's kind of like, I thought it was a very, very powerful example to bring this alignment. And another one in terms of which relates to finding purpose and kind of really creating an environment where people want to be, where, they can see that what the company does aligns with their personal values, purpose, or mission and vision is a friend of mine has a company called Time Doctor. It's a time tracking company. And if their vision statement would be to be the best time tracking software in the world, he would maybe find a handful of people who are excited about this because, to be real, who cares about time tracking? And so he came up with the vision statement of like to lead the remote work revolution. And now they have the biggest conference about remote work, and they, wrote books about this, etc. And like everybody's like really gung ho about this. And so yeah, I'm a firm believer that like if you can align people with the vision and mission of your company, you have like a rock star team. And what we've been doing, or what I started doing, was applying business principles to my personal life by defining my mission, vision, values, and my 90-day plans, etc., to run my life like a business. And this worked phenomenally well for me. And so I started to do this with my teams, and and then entrepreneur friends came to like, hey, can you do this with us as well? And this is kind of how this thing grew. And the idea is to help people to really figure out what they're excited about, what their personal purpose is, and align it with the company purpose or with the role that they have. And this has been working phenomenally well for us. And yeah, I'll stop talking. Let's do an exercise together. You down for that? All right, cool. So one exercise that we does any of you know the lifeline exercise? It's like
Not yet.
I know it from EO, the Entrepreneurs Organization, where people share their highs and lows that they had in life. You can take a piece of paper and say, like, okay, this is when I was born. This is where I am right now, 48. And then, I make like, a high, like, oh, I met my first girlfriend, or I lost my father, or, my wife went through breast cancer, like another low point. And kind of like create this lifeline and share it in a group. And it's probably the best thing to kind of create a deeper connection inside of the team. You often see grown people cry like little kids, but it's a really powerful exercise because afterwards it's not Steven from sales and Michael from marketing. It's Steven who also lost his father when he was young. It's Michael who also had a drug phase, and kind of like taking off the mask and being real is like so immensely powerful. And the lifeline takes some time, and we have like a shorter version of this, which is the 3-2-1 exercise, where you share 3 events, 2 people, and 1 decision that you've made that had a very big impact in your life. And to make it even shorter, we're just going to do the 1-1-1 exercise, where you share 1 experience, 1 person, and 1 decision that you've made that had a very big impact in your life. Everybody down for that? Yeah?
Yes.
So it's maybe Tine, could you post it into the chat, like 3 events, one event, 1 person, and 1 decision that you've made that had a very big impact. Let's see, time-wise. Actually, I'll share mine, and then we can go into breakout rooms and share yours, so you can kind of get an idea. I think it always comes out differently because there's lots of events in my life, but one thing that really shaped me was to actually one event. My wife going through breast cancer was like a really big wake up moment for me because it kind of forced me to do my funeral exercise. I basically imagined myself on my deathbed looking back at my life thinking, did I really do what I was supposed to do? Did it have the impact that I want to have? It's kind of like a forced early midlife crisis to kind of really question everything. And this really led me to sell the business that I had in America and kind of like do what I'm doing today because I had like this idea I want to have more impact. So this was definitely an event that had a really big impact on me. In terms of people, combined my parents. My parents were hippies. They brought my father and a friend brought Shambhala to Europe, which is a Buddhist religion. So I lived amongst meditating hippies for the first years of my life. And I was raised without authority, so I could do whatever I want to do. My parents never said no to anything. I smoked a pack of cigarettes a day when I was 12 already, even though my mother was a doctor. So like this very loose way of upbringing, or how they raised me, definitely impacted me. And then decisions, I'll make it short, like to make decisions out of love and not out of fear. I used to be very shy and introverted. I would have never even speak in a setting like this, or public speak, or I hated sales with a passion. I even had a hard time running a meeting with my own team because I was like so shy and introverted. And at some point, I heard that every decision in life you make from a place of love or fear, and just like, it was really eye-opening for me because when let's say speaking here, before I would have been full of fear and thinking like, oh, probably everybody thinks what I'm saying is stupid, or I have a weird German accent, or I look weird, or whatever, or I something bad happens to me because it was always about me. But if I turn it around, I think what I'm sharing can potentially help one of you in here with their life or with their business, and it becomes very easy because I'm, doing it from a place of love or selling. I hated sales with a passion. I sold because we are a startup and we have to sell or we die. But if I know the product can be good for you, I can even be a pushy sales guy. Say like, Helgi, please, man, freaking buy this. It's gonna help you so much, and you'll feel it's coming from a place of love that I want to enrich your life and not just buy myself a new car. So, all right, to keep it short, I'm gonna start the breakout rooms. Gonna put like two of you in the room. We're gonna have 3 minutes per person, and then I will bring you back in here. And we're gonna make a random assignment. So we have 14 people. So 13. Somebody didn't want to do it. uh, it just dropped out. So I guess I make a random assignment, and then we will have how many? Left 6 rooms. All right, rock and roll. See you on the other side.
Mm.
Tine, you on the side? No. This work? Okay.
Uh,
Oh, because we're admins, we didn't go. This
oh.
this also solves the issue of the 14 people. So.
Oh, right.
But
Okay.
no, there's like there's 2 people who are alone in a room in 5 and 6. So I will assign. Can I assign? Wait, move to room 5. Boom. Okay, I fixed it.
Okay.
Okay, good.
I'm a
So
freaking
there,
wizard. I'm a wizard.
yeah, no kidding. But there's like everywhere too now. Okay. So we do it, the three of us. I think we have never done it together, David.
Really?
Hmm?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just shared mine, so I'm already done. So we also sticking
Okay.
with the time of
Good.
3 minutes, and so three.
Helgi. Oh,
Go ahead, Tina.
Milan. All right.
Milan.
Hey, Milan.
Hi.
Yeah, Milan. You just it's up to you what you want to do. We can go through it, or we can brief Milan. That's up to you guys.
What happened?
We do an exercise,
I,
sharing
I will
one.
I will assign Tina and Milan to room 6, and
Okay.
then you guys do there. And
Okay, let's go.
All right.
assign. By the way,
Okay.
my middle name is Milan, so why
Ah,
can't good name.
I agree.
So
So
Helgi,
I guess it's my turn then.
yes sir.
One event, probably so many events. I mean, we can basically just take it from the intersection perspective. So one event is probably then when I decided to participate in the in a digital conference for intersection. It had nothing to do with my work or anything like that. It was just personal interest. So I decided to take 2 days sitting in my basement, watching a virtual conference during COVID and learning a little bit more about what these guys were doing. And then the event actually that is interesting is at the end of the event, Wolfgang says that anybody that wants to contact us, wants to work with us, please contact us and reach out. And that's what I did. And that's probably the event that changed a lot for me because what 3 weeks later I had the role of team lead for some work stream and I had no idea what I was doing. But 2 years later after that, we published the enterprise scan, which was the only work stream that actually delivered on something. So this is something, and I'm still here, and this is I'm doing this basically as a
From a place
hobby.
of love.
Yeah, this is a hobby. I mean, everything we do is open source. I haven't made a single dime on this work, and I still love it. I still think it's worth it. I think it's an awesome initiative, and I think it's something that really can have impact on the world in the future. So the decision, that was the event. The decision is a decision actually I make every day or very regularly. which is to continue working with this even if I don't get pay for it. And that is a decision that I'm continuing making, and I have no intention of stopping making that decision. And the person then is probably, I mean, I would say it's out of the two. If I have to choose one of the guys, then I would say Milan, simply because he wrote the book,
Hmm.
and that's the reason I joined. So, but the reason I'm actually working here is Wolfgang. But the reason I started was Milan in his book. So that's basically why I'm here, and what I'm doing with this organization is like you, trying to make the world a better place,
No,
even if I
not
don't
trying.
get it.
Trying is coming from a place of fear.
Okay,
As Yoda said, do or do not.
working on making a world a better place, even if I don't get paid for it, just because I find it interesting and I find it worth doing.
I'd love to show, at my last company, which was MaxCDN,
Hmm?
we're a content delivery network, and I sponsored a lot of open source projects.
Hmm?
We had like Twitter Bootstrap framework and JavaScript as well. Like the I don't know how nerdy you are, but like
Yeah, a little bit. Hmm?
these online libraries, we gave them the CDN for free, in order to get like a little bit of exposure
Hmm?
to them, to their, they had like in their docs, they had like, this is provided by MaxCDN, like, getting a backlink, a little exposure, but it was quite costly for us to host this. But I love to do that and give back. Um, I'd also love to show you, in this context, I'd love to show you what we've built with Love Not Fear,
Hmm?
because I think like the assessments and the learning stuff we can like very easily replicate in the systems that we've built. And uh, yeah, supporting open source projects is something that's dear to
I
my heart.
mean, absolutely. And if you want to sponsor us in any way, we have partnering agreements that we're publishing right now. So it's agreements where, like you said, you always get something in return. It's not just money. It's you
Mm.
can, and you choose a little bit how much you want to get in return. You can get education for employees. You get exposure in conferences. You can publication on the website, and possibility to introduce a product if you want to the community. So
So
that's
in terms
definitely
of
something.
sponsorship, what we always did is like barter, kind of giving you our services, or our tool, because I built UpCoach, which is a learning management platform, and an AI tool that helps to bring more alignment inside of organizations.
I mean,
Uh,
everything is open. So we just everybody that wants to work with us and help us also promote this, that's always an opportunity for us. So anything we want to do. But also, if you have tools that are building on things, I mean, the methodology we have, we are
This is what
actually,
I mean. We can bring your methodology
yeah.
in there to kind of make it like streamlined and faster to
Mm,
scale. I'm a
yeah.
systems. I have a condition called aphantasia. Everything in my head is logical systems. I cannot create
Mm.
images in my head, and also no sounds, taste, smells, or emotions. I cannot reproduce this. And I think in systems, and it's fairly simple for me to systematize things,
I
and
I do I relate. You can say it like that.
do you have pictures in your head?
No.
There's a condition called aphantasia.
Uh,
Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Oh, you know about it? Imagine an apple.
no.
Okay. Imagine an
Mm,
apple. Open
mm,
your eyes. What color was the apple?
no idea.
You have aphantasia, bro.
That's cool.
Read up on it. It's like when I found out about it, I told my wife. She's like, "What the fuck? This explains so many things."
Okay. No, I'm a very logical minded person. I have difficulty in creating images and stuff like that. I see things in logical flow, just like I said, and that's something that helps me a lot with EDGY. It enables me to put things in diagrams and graphics that on a paper, which I can't really do in my head. So yeah,
Oh,
what do you
very
say?
cool.
What
Yeah.
aphantasia?
Yes. Like look into it. Like I had the guy who coined the phrase. It's fairly new. 5% of people have it, between 2 and 5%.
Oh,
And I
really?
had the guy who coined the phrase on my podcast. It's fairly new. It's known since 2014.
Okay,
Um, and yeah, it will explain a lot of things.
cool. If it's 5%, that's maybe a reason I have a problem with relating to some people.
Yes. Yep, I've been there. Oh, I am there.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, party people.
Hello, Annika and I were
Yeah.
almost finished.
Did you have to get to choose? No, everybody's back. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Zoom is
Brutal
brutal.
bringing
Yes.
us back.
Mhm.
Super good to keep track on time.
I'm German, you know. So
Yeah. Appreciate it.
And he doesn't have emotions. That's what he
Yes.
also keeps saying.
Yes.
Germans
Actually-
have emotions, okay? Just FYI.
Yeah, most
Some.
German. I just talked to Helge, and it seems he also has aphantasia.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Well, cool. How was that? Any like takeaways? You know.
It was good. You needed to be a bit like open-minded and start getting into it. It was kind of quick when you introduced, so I'm like I had to write down person, event, decision, like to remember what I should talk about. It helped that I actually know Annika from before.
Yeah.
It's good. You know, we've done this in lots of teams, and sometimes people really open up, and sometimes people do not open up that much, and you know, kind of taking off the mask. And I found that taking off the mask is like an absolute superpower. I like to almost polarize, also with core values. At MaxDN, we had a core value which was build cool shit, because we want to attract engineering nerds who want to build cool shit, and we want to push people away who get offended that a company uses the word shit in their values. You know, and just like we had this even in our hiring, like in our job posts, we had our core values, and we talked about this in the hiring process, and then the contract at the end, people had to initial next to each core value that you know, these are the core values, and I'm going to live up to them, or I will not have a place here. And you know, I think if I'm really my true self and I do not wear a mask and I really open up, then either you know, you think like this guy's freaking crazy, I want nothing to do with him, which is cool because then you're not part of my tribe, or I drag you in really fast because we connect. Germans have feelings and are funny. Do you know, joke how many Germans it takes to screw in a light bulb?
Yeah, that's what's in there in the
Oh,
chat.
I didn't see that. Okay, sorry.
Seriously? Oh my gosh,
I
guys.
didn't read that. Sorry.
Okay, but so why are we doing this is talking about identity today, right? And organizations are living systems, and practically the identity is like the emotional center of the organization, so to say, right? So the brand we're putting out there in the world is the promise, but without the identity that is actually bringing like the inner truth and giving the promise life, the promise is just a promise, right? So, and a really essential part in that is core values. So David already talked about it, and I'm really looking forward to the discussion. This is why I would like to just like do one more thing with you guys and then open up for discussion, because even David and my kind of approach to values like is already differing, because what I said in the beginning, I have experienced like this whole glory side about this big alignment of individual purpose and organizational purpose, individual values and organizational values, but I believe we cannot really align on that, right? But it's like more like a dialogue conversation starter, right? But it is a super cool tool for personal reflection and to help people to root in themselves. And that's for values, but also for mission, vision. And how we got together, David and me, was working on this tool together to do exactly that. So at the intersection of technology and also like having the human in the loop, so to say. And yeah, like core values are also influencing, if you think about it, like every EDGY layer, so to say, right? So yeah, let's start there. And we have prepared a little prompt. Yeah, we would like you to scan a link that we're giving to you guys now and just have like how much time? Maybe like 5 to 8 minutes as like a micro reflection moment to fill out the questions that you are getting. And then you will get like practically a document or, you know, like a result of your core values. And that's going to lead into the discussion that we're going to have. Yeah. Anything else you would like to say about that, David? I'm already going to put the link into the chat, so you can just do it on the desktop. It's no subscription or nothing. It's just a closed space for this group that we have created. So this is why you just need to log in with your email address. And if you would like to do it with a phone, let me just, I can share here a QR code.
Well, it's easier on the computer for sure.
I guess it's easier on the computer. Yeah. And David, is there just the values prompt in there? Just like to check.
I think there's the values and the mission and vision, but Anya did. I didn't look into it. Let me check.
Because we want to do the values, right? Yeah. So if you're getting in there and you scroll down, you see like the mission vision, and then you see like the personal core values, and then you can just like tip on the core values prompt. And then you're being led through the questions. I'm just gonna stop sharing. So if you have
So you do not have to watch the video if in case there's a video. Just click on the core values prompt, the core values link, and then
do you have to create an account? Because when I try to create the password, creating the account, it is saying that the given password has appeared in a data leak, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not...
Yeah, I'm also having problems with this.
I mean, I think there's like a browser notification that if this data has, or I don't know if we do this, there's like databases out there with leaked passwords. And, you know, if this password associated with your email address has been used in a data breach before, then it notifies you about this.
Yeah, I tried like 3 different passwords now, but I get the same message, so I cannot create an account. So I cannot do that. Let me try again.
I have the same problem, so.
Let me check that real quick.
How's the rest doing? Rest is fine?
Do you have a Gmail account or a LinkedIn account?
It's the Gmail I'm trying to use when I'm creating.
If you click, there's a Gmail button up there. You can sign in with Gmail.
Sign in with Google. Let's try that one.
No, that worked for me.
Perfect. But once you're through with the values and the prompt gives them out, maybe like post them in the chat so we can see, and also like as a notification that you're done with it. So we have a good idea of that.
Is it okay to ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah, so now I'm in and I see the individual, the personal core values and the personal mission and vision light.
Mhm.
So
The
which
core
one
values.
should I, the
Core
core
values.
values, good. I was so into logging in, so I didn't.
How are we doing?
I'm awesome, at least according to the thing.
Did
Anyone
you
else
smash
feeling
anything else?
that?
You could
No.
just ask me about that, Milan,
I know.
Or not the saying, schlechten Menschen geht's immer gut, which can translate to bad people are always doing fabulous. So,
Milan is
something.
actually German, David, so he understands.
Ah,
Could we have just another minute? I'm not done yet. I had such problems logging in. So
Sure.
Sorry for that.
yeah, no problem. I'm typing as quickly as I can without
you're like-
analyzing everything.
So it's like, what makes you proud? You're like logging in.
Yay! That's my true strength now and my happy place.
But see, that was the classical German joke.
It's like what we call in Sweden a dad joke, like meaning a really bad one.
Yeah.
For
Good
old
point. I will
people.
add that.
Yeah, the dad joke.
Since it's AI, you can also tell me, give me the document now. I don't want to type anymore, and it's going to create something. But if you want better results.
Yeah, that worked. Thank you.
Awesome.
And now it's saying, just a moment, it's reflecting on my personal core values. So I think I'm done. You can.
Perfect. So we've built this. The idea of this AI is that you can do this for yourself, or you can also do this for, let's say, the company or company OKRs, etc. And then it kind of cascades down from, it knows about the overarching thing for the company, and then it knows about the stuff for the team, and then for the individual, and these things kind of build on upon each other. So when you have new prompts, they can kind of like interact with each other. And for us was a way to just be way more efficient and systematized.
So if you actually have a couple of principles or core values or whatever in your company already, you can actually put them in, and then also to combine with asking what you feel about them in different ways, and then connecting your personal with your company's.
Yes, or connect maybe your job role.
Yeah, exactly. Like build on this in a way.
Maxine, our idea was like to make the web faster, but our accounting department had a different mission because like they didn't really care about making the web faster. So.
Like we've been using it in like different contexts. Like last week, I did like a workshop for TEDx here in the Netherlands, and it was like their onboarding kind of workshop. They haven't met each other before, and the ask was to create connection. And then I used this, but with a prompt of like the mission vision, but a very light version of it, to just really spark the dialogue and to have people like in their micro reflection moment, and then put up the mission of TEDx just like on like a paper. And they have predefined roles. And then the question was, how would you express your personal mission through your role in the context of TEDx? And then they were like in conversation with each other to reflect and just like, put the Post-its there. But it really helped to just connect them also in like that context, right? But what we're also doing is, because it was also about like, how can we engage bigger organizations on that level? Because that's like, usually it's like, it's most of the time not really possible, right? So that's why like we could merge the missions and visions of everybody individually, and then have practically a bottom-up kind of approach to say, if we're looking at that could really make the company's mission, or put it in the context of an existing mission, right? So yeah, but you always have a human in the loop. I just want to emphasize that. So to facilitate it in cohorts, facilitate it in teams, so you're not giving the entire agency to, individually in cooperation with the AI, but to put it on collective level with a facilitator. Yes. I think we should just open the floor for more reflections and questions.
Like, have everyone received their values?
Values?
It seems to take some time for me at least. But
Maybe you were a very complex person.
yeah, probably I'm the simplest person alive, I think. But but yeah, since I was a bit like the last one out, I wanted to check if everyone else had received theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably I'm too complex.
Or is there anybody else who would like to share? Like, does it feel like you resonate with it? Like, how was the journey?
I can say something about that. I was happily surprised what came out of it. I wrote in the text that the acronyms, like I got 2 suggestions for acronyms. That's a nice touch on top of what did I get, 6 core personal values. I think it's a good reflection of the conversation with some other words and sentences thrown in. So yeah, I think this could work as inspiration for people to make their own personal manifestos. Yeah.
Maybe I can comment. I do some of these identity workshop, and I think when I saw other people do this workshop, they usually go straight to what are your values, and then it's note and vote, and it just does not make any sense to ask and go straight to that. So I kind of like that there are starter question to make you reflect on your life first, and then they can go towards something that is make more sense or more meaningful. I did not like the acronym that it gave me, but I'm not.
Tell it, give me a new one. I don't like this acronym, give me a new one.
The acronym that it gave me was growth. And I'm not into growth as a business person, maybe personal growth, but I would not say, hey, growth is my part of my value. It's more, maybe I'll post it on the chat. It's more about grit, recognition, belonging, curiosity, but like it's not about growth. So there's kind of a match with the acronym, but I mean, these things are never perfect, but good starter at least.
Yeah, there's also the idea it's a start, like, and like personal mission and vision has been like evolving quite a bit over lots of iterations. But I feel with the AI, you kind of get like a much better starting than you get otherwise, or with a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get to that point that fast.
If I can
No, you got Eric.
bounce on your IDGS. For me, it feels like it's indeed a first step, but the process is interesting. But to have to answer those questions directly, straight, in this moment, I think it could be interesting if this tool just ask me question from time to time over maybe a week period or something like that, just to let me think in between the questions and maybe react on things that happen in my life and stuff like that. It's so personal at some point that I would like to have more time, and I would like to have this indeed in not direct questions. I really like the question about what's your favorite books and stuff like that, because it brings us elsewhere. But I maybe want to answer that on with a glass of wine on a Friday night, not on a Tuesday morning at the office. So I think there is a great potential with that tool, and I would use the time factor to make it more personal. It's an idea.
It's
I have
ask the question now, and you need to wait 2 days before you answer, so
Mhm.
your brain sleeps
Yeah.
over it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had some dimensions of this sort of this gets personal, and I started to think of where is this stored, who is reading it, and how can this be used. So to me, this has to do. I mean, for me to be sort of thinking of this and using this tool like this, I think the integrity aspects are important. How is this sort of where am I able to take this away, or that those type of questions, because otherwise I would in a company setting I would always reflect on is this evaluated through another lens than my own, and that is something that at least I am being more and more aware
What's this
of.
about?
Yeah, we leave traces, and I give you some keys to what I think is important. I'm not really sure how much I mean, we are always giving away a lot of things, but this got to a potentially very condensed version of core things, and I felt a bit reluctant to share it, to be honest, which surprised me.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were
it's,
also you me you
you go for it. Come on.
yeah, we were also talking like when implemented in an organization, it is super important to look at what is the hierarchical structure, like
Excellent.
what is the org design, what is the transparency level,
Mhm.
like who would be in the loop. So this needs to be like people need to feel safe, right?
Yep.
To go
Yep.
there. So like to create transparency, like where does that information go and who has access to it? But you can customize everything, right?
Yep.
So to say nobody can see in that, that's also possible. Or you have, I don't know, the leader of the team could see it, which is like what would be then the sense in it is the intention. So it's always important like to say
Exactly. Yeah.
what
Yeah.
is the intention and who is the human in the loop. These are the two things to really look at it, and it's highly dependent on the culture of the organization. So I'm completely with you with that. Yeah.
For me, the chat was a really good start. I think these were good questions, and I took 2 or 3 sentences to answer the questions, and the summary was really cool. I posted it, the acronym Hope Frame, something typical German in it, like discipline. It was called brave discipline. Well, but on the other side, things like stark connection to other people and fairness and honesty speak to me. What would be help? What helped me would be to like a reverse presentation. Okay, I wrote in the chat that you are fair and honest, and what are examples? Something like this, to be a little bit more personal, like a chat with other people. So I talk about this. And yeah, well, I translated it into German and used GPT to take your questions and translate it into German. I hope it's a good translation, but it worked. Oh,
I mean, it also makes sense to have these core values in your native language or your personal mission and vision, because it's words in your native tongue have just a different meaning. You know, kind of if I say I love you, it has like way less meaning. Versus if I say ich liebe dich, which is I love you in German, it has like a very different meaning.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not so easy when you translate it. Yeah. Exactly.
How
But
is this?
it's a good start and a good idea, I think, for me at least. Yeah.
How is this related to structural aspects? So one thing in my head is always so first thing we have it in the pattern. So in 2020, Annika and Milan, and when we wrote our pattern book, pattern number 1 is personal enterprise vision, and pattern number 6 is enterprise vision. So who are you? What are you? It's exactly the same, but we didn't dive as deep as you guys did. So it's a welcome extension. Thank you very much. But one thing for me that is fascinating, and I have to think about it all of the time, is that you have structural aspects of change. The parts of design, enterprise design, are structural. What belongs together, processes, capabilities, IT systems, organizational structures. Yeah. So there are some analytical, logical parts in enterprise design. And for me, I always see this as complementary. So if you dive into values and the topics you present today, I know that I would say they are of equal importance, and we must find a way. If you run a transformation program, whatever that may be, a merger, a big change, IT, not IT, whatever, all too often the people like you, organizational designers of many different kinds, are not tightly related to the people driving the process, the structural discussion. So what I see is a chasm between this part of design, or people who are strong in this topic and people who are strong on the other topic. So how can we ever bring that? I think with intersection, it's what I want to do, or what we hopefully want to do, is to bring the left and the right hemisphere of your brain, if you want, the structure, analytical, and the people focus, and we must bring it together. And I don't know exactly how to do that. Maybe some techniques help, but how could I combine it with a more structural transformation?
To me, and David, then you can go, or somebody else, right? To me, this part is like breathing the life into the structural part.
Okay.
Because what we've been seeing in like this process of transformations in organizations about like, okay, we want to become more adaptive, we want to do that, speed needs to go faster. There's big changes happening in organization. And the only thing you create somewhat like stability is in the individual, right? So helping the individual stay grounded with like practices that nurture that ground. And I think this kind of individual rooting is also then creating somewhat like, it's like, helping to, in a way, create the balance or like a certain equilibrium to the other part of structure, right? So I think it's the practices that are helping to actually bring, life to the structure. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm like,
yeah.
No, okay.
Well, maybe. I mean, that's only the way I perceive it. If you have a large transformation, you have maybe a big project managers, or some people are not so keen on discussing the emotional side of change. We are, of course, but out there, I've met too many analytically thinking people, project managers, they want to finish on time, on budget, they don't care about. And then we have change management people, OD, but typically these are two different communities that have problems interacting. I'm not sure if it's only me who perceive it that way. Maybe it's not. It's not? Okay.
No, I mean they're at least trying. Like looking at OD communities, like they try to speak the languages of org design and OD, but maybe Marlene has a good answer for us.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I don't know if the answer is good or not, but I will say, upon completing mine, what came to mind for me is how you can align teams like-minded and therefore create synergies within those teams. So as we're going in to do large digital transformations, the technology synergy is one side, but truly understanding what lights up the people that are on either the back end of the house or the extreme front end of the house allows you to move the needle so much faster with so much more velocity when you actually understand as a team what moves them and what excites them.
Yes.
So I think the tool's really, really nice, and my mind instantly goes to probably 10 different ways in which I would utilize it.
If you want, we're out of time, but I'm happy to, if somebody's interested, happy to show you the tool that we've built called the Rituals app, on how we integrate this into a learning management software that we've built, and it's, I mean, I built it, but aside from it, I think it's fucking amazing. Excuse my language. But, so I'm happy if anybody wants to geek out on this. I'll
and challenge.
Yes, and challenge it. Yes, of course. I put like a link in there. Happy to jump on a call and geek out.
I mean, as intersection group, we're always looking for contributors. So EDGY is only the beginning. So right now we have the language and we have the patterns. So we have the pattern number 1, personal enterprise vision, number 6, enterprise, also the vision connect to the enterprise vision or something like that. But over time, we want to grow and add our writing and connect to tools that go deeper. Currently, you can have a look at the two patterns. It's the same idea, but of course, we don't have a tool like yours. And we know by each and every pattern, we know by each and every map and everything we write, capability guidelines recently and others, you can always go deeper. Yeah, and we are an open source community, so we are keen always for people who bring in their to write with us, and if there's anything we could open source, or you'd be up to. I like the idea. Yeah? But we are always, like you've seen, we're always, at least I'm always interested in the question: how is it related to the rest? How is it related to what the IT community says, the process people? How can we bring it all together? That's what drives me. That's my personal vision. That's what I want.
I mentioned to Heggy, I love open source projects. At Maxi, my last business, we support a lot of open source projects. We give them free CDN services, and this was like to the Bootstrap or jQuery and a bunch of and I'd love to chat and see how we can provide the tool that we've built to you guys and kind of bring your methodology in to make it easier, scalable for practitioners to use it.
Yeah, let's talk. Cool.
Nice. All right.
Yes, and Marco, yes, yeah, I'd love if you let me know when it is. I'm not that often in Germany, but I travel a lot, so I can always make a detour and drop by.
Yeah, let us know when it is. I'm also more often I'm in Aschaffenburg usually, so like hanging out in the hood. And I'm also going to put my LinkedIn in the chat for anybody who wants to get connected.
Yes.
I also invited you guys, or both of you, to our Slack channel. We have an intersection group Slack chat. I just did it 10 minutes ago or so. Usually it's the best way if you're wanting to be in contact with those great people, and it's only 2 handful. We have more. But today you met the best, of course.
Of course. Everybody, yeah.
We have more of them, so if you want to get in direct contact with some of them, Slack is many of them reply within an hour or so.
Okay, well, I look into it. I haven't used Slack in a long time, so
okay, whatever you prefer.
But thank you so much for the invitation.
Now you miss it. You don't have to answer. HR is watching.
Johannes.
Well, awesome. Thank you very much for having us and geeking out on this.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Amazing sessions. Super helpful.
Much
soon.
love.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.